The WNBA world is once again in turmoil, and this time, it centers around Carrington, a name that's quickly becoming synonymous with controversy. Fans who tuned in expected a thrilling matchup, but what they got instead was a shocking display of aggression that has ignited a firestorm of backlash across social media, sports media, and even among players. What began as just another game took a dramatic and ugly turn when Carrington targeted Dallas Wings star Sabally with a move so uncalled for, so aggressive, that fans and analysts alike are calling it a blatant act of violence. Not just rough play. But the real twist? Instant karma came calling, and Carrington paid the price in a way that even her most loyal supporters couldn't have predicted. The incident occurred midway through the second quarter, with the Connecticut Sun locked in a tight battle against the Dallas Wings. Emotions were high, physicality was expected, but Carrington took things to another level. After a routine rebound by Sabally, Carrington came in with what looked like a cheap shot, elbowing her in a way that sent Sabally crashing to the floor. The arena went dead silent for a moment. Fans, players, coaches, everyone knew they had just witnessed something that crossed the line. And then came the moment that stunned everyone. Carrington herself hit the deck moments later. On a fast break, she collided awkwardly with a Wings defender and rolled her ankle badly. What fans immediately dubbed instant karma spread like wildfire across the internet. Commentators didn't even wait for commercial break to start, discussing the irony of the situation. Was it poetic justice? Was it just coincidence? Either way, Carrington's night went from bad to worse in the blink of an eye. But here's where the drama gets even more intense. This isn't the first time Carrington has been in the spotlight for questionable behavior. Just weeks ago, she was under fire for what many called unnecessary and targeted aggression during a game against the Indiana Fever, where Caitlin Clark found herself on the receiving end of some rough contact. Though the league dismissed it as part of the game, fans weren't buying it. And now, with this blatant attack on Sabally, the pattern is becoming impossible to ignore. People are starting to ask hard questions. Is Carrington playing with passion, or is she crossing the line into dangerous territory? Is the league doing enough to protect players, especially stars like Caitlin Clark and Sabally, who are not just faces of their franchises, but also vital to the WNBA's future growth? The fans' patience is wearing thin, and the phrase, "Protect Caitlin Clark," has become more than just a slogan. It's a demand. Social media lit up in the aftermath. Videos of the elbow went viral in seconds. Fans shared slow-motion breakdowns, showing how unnecessary and reckless Carrington's move really was. Hashtags like "You Protect Caitlin" and "Fiuk." Justice for Satu began trending within the hour. Even former players and analysts couldn't stay silent. Some called for a suspension. Others went further, saying the league needs to start cracking down hard on what they're calling bully ball. Adding fuel to the fire, Carrington's post-game comments didn't help her case. Instead of owning up or offering an apology, she dismissed the incident as competitive energy. That only added to the backlash. Fans weren't looking for a fight. They were looking for accountability, and her refusal to acknowledge any wrongdoing poured gasoline on an already raging blaze. Meanwhile, Sabally showed remarkable grace in the post-game press conference. Though visibly shaken and bruised, she spoke calmly and avoided making it personal. "It's part of the game," she said, "but we all have to respect each other out there. We're professionals." Her mature response won her even more respect from fans and fellow players alike, contrasting sharply with Carrington's defensive attitude. Caitlin Clark, who wasn't even on the court during this incident, still found herself pulled into the drama. Fans kept bringing her name up as yet another example of a player being targeted. It's becoming clearer with each game that Clark's star power has also made her a target for hostility. Whether it's envy, pressure, or resentment, some players seem determined to make her life on the court difficult. And now, with Carrington already having a history involving Clark, many believe this latest incident with Sabally is just another step in a disturbing trend. Commentators on national TV didn't hold back. One ESPN analyst said, This isn't just about one player. This is about a culture that's forming in the league, where talent is punished instead of celebrated. That's not sustainable for the WNBA. Another panelist pointed out that the league has a duty to protect its most valuable assets. Players like Clark and Sabally, who draw in fans, sponsors, and media attention. Letting incidents like this slide sends the wrong message. There's also growing pressure on the WNBA commissioner to step in. Fans are demanding a statement, some form of action. They're not just asking for fines or suspensions. They want the league to take a firm stance against what they see as an escalating pattern of violence disguised as competition. And with the league trying to grow its audience and attract new fans, the last thing it needs is a reputation for letting its stars get bullied without consequence. Adding another layer to the drama, players from other teams have begun speaking out. One anonymous player reportedly told a reporter, "Everyone sees what's going on. The league needs to step in before someone gets seriously hurt." That sentiment is gaining traction, as the physicality in recent games has ramped up beyond normal levels. If the WNBA doesn't act now, the consequences could be severe, not just for player safety, but for the league's credibility as a whole. And then there's the fans. Die-hard WNBA supporters are some of the most passionate in all of sports. But they're not blind loyalists. They're demanding better. They want games to be tough but fair. They want rivalries, not reckless assaults. And they definitely don't want to see their favorite stars, whether it's Sabally, Clark, or anyone else, being taken out of games due to senseless aggression. The video of Carrington's elbow on Sabally is now one of the most shared WNBA clips of the season. Not because it was an amazing play, but because it symbolized everything that's wrong with what's happening on the court right now. The fact that Carrington ended up injured moments later only deepened the narrative. Call it karma, call it coincidence, but it's clear that fans see it as a warning shot, a moment that says enough is enough. The question now is, what will the WNBA do about it? Will Carrington face real consequences, or will this be swept under the rug like so many other incidents? And what about player protection? Will the league finally take steps to ensure that stars like Caitlin Clark aren't continuously put in harm's way? As it stands, Carrington's future in the league is at a crossroads. She's a talented player with undeniable skills, but her growing reputation for aggression could end up overshadowing everything else. If she doesn't course correct soon, and if the league doesn't help guide that process, it could cost her dearly. Meanwhile, fans are watching closely. They're no longer content to just cheer from the sidelines. They're demanding accountability, fairness, and above all, safety. The WNBA has a golden opportunity to rise above this chaos and set a new standard for how a professional league should handle on-court conduct. But the clock is ticking, and the next move could define not just Carrington's career, but the direction of the entire league. In the end, this moment will be remembered, not just for the elbow or the injury, but for what comes next. Will the league act decisively? Will Carrington face the consequences of her actions? Will Caitlin Clark and Sabally get the protection they deserve? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. Fans are watching, and they won't forget.